All right, we're back with another Wealth on the Water. The first time we did this, I was not pregnant. So this is going to get really fucking juicy. Really fucking quick. So I'm Theoni the lender. I've been a lender for almost 9 years now, which is really crazy. Been at Annie Mac for 2 years, and we're here in Annapolis today. I'm going to say with Matt, but Matt co-hosts this, so he's going to introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's crazy. The last time that we did this, you were not pregnant.
No. I was actually wearing a youth shirt. I remember it was my middle school sister's shirt, and I could not fit in that shit today.
I love it. Well, speaking of being pregnant, how are you feeling?
Pregnant.
Dude,
I'm feeling huge. This baby is due in July. We're shooting this in May. There's no way that this baby's going to stay inside of me till July. She's got to come early. She has to.
I hope not, for your sake, that it comes early and you don't have to be a week past your due date again, because that's fucking brutal.
Yeah, but I'm ready for anything, just like this real estate market.
Well, you pretty much act like you're not pregnant at all, because you drove 2+ hours today from the beach like it was nothing, and took calls and are emailing at 11 p.m. It's just... I know that there's a lot of people that we have a lot of moms and a lot of people that are pregnant as fuck at our branch as well as on our team /dads. And you inspire me with that, how you literally never complain, at least not to us.
I have a husband for that.
Internally or to your husband. So, I guess the first question is just how do you feel about, your business and being pregnant and having your second kid? How's that?
Yeah.
Kind of all the things.
So I think I obviously only have one other time to compare this time to. And when I compare my experience being this pregnant with Costas the first time, I felt like I had to, and I'm going to get super raw on this for a second. I felt like I had to prove to myself and to the people who I was working with, which was a different company at the time, that nothing was going to change. And it's kind of really fucking stupid to think that, because everything changes when you become a mom. And I think that in this industry, I talk about this a lot with having content that relates to your specific target audience. We're such yes women and men that when I thought about, oh my gosh, having a kid who's crying in the background would hurt my sales and hurt my reputation, that's so messed up to think. Mm-hmm. And this time I'm kind of taking it as, okay, I'm in sprint mode to build my business, but I actually don't give a fuck about kids in the background anymore. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I'm a better LO, the better I am as a mom. And it was the other way around. I lost a lot of those newborn cuddles because I had to pass Costas to my mom to go outside with engorged fucking breasts to take a call because I thought that's what I needed to do to prove myself and everybody else. But no one else knew I was going through that. So I was just silently
for
struggling.
A client that had no idea.
No clue. And didn't care.
Didn't even care.
Didn't care.
And maybe didn't even end up using you.
Right. Probably didn't.
So then you wasted that time.
Yeah.
So I love that you have that perspective of a different culture, and now we've created a culture that is around family and being a badass mom and a badass LO and not compromising one or the other, because I feel like that's been very intentional, especially me and you, as we've grown all of these different tiers of our business, is having those two things in mind with how we've scaled, because I feel like I've been conflicted in that my whole career. When I first had MJ, I wanted to be the best dad in the world, but I also wanted to build the biggest fucking mortgage business in the world as well. And without a culture and a team and a support staff and referral partners and clients that support that vision, you really can't do it. So I just think it's so interesting how back then, now you have that and you've doubled your business, you've doubled your following, your business is growing, you're happier, you're feeling more like you don't have to prove something, but then it's you're spending more time with Costas and really taking in those moments, because I know that they're fleeting and we don't have those forever.
Yeah.
What's the guy, Jordan Peterson, right? Isn't that the guy who talks about you only have kids for 4 years and then it's gone? And it's crazy because, so I was thinking about that this morning when I dropped MJ off, because he's going to St. John's, K through 8 in the fall.
That's crazy.
And I was like, holy shit. He's like literally going to be in a school with 8th graders, and he's 6 years old, and he's going from St. Margaret's, which is like little babies, you know, with their big ass backpacks on, like little 2-year-olds walking into the class, to like, he's going to be a big kid. And this is the last like 2 weeks that me and MJ will be in the car just ourselves, ever.
Oh my gosh.
And then in the fall, it'll be, I'll drop MJ off, and then I'll go drop Welly off.
You're going to cry.
It was like, it sucked. I was like, damn, this sucks.
Does he know that?
No. And he's like very sensitive. Like, honestly, he might like be like, oh, that's sad. Like, he's like the sweetest kid. So I feel like I don't even want to tell him, because he's like my wife. But I feel like it's important to have that like knowledge and like self-awareness of what you're going through, because I think it's just like, you know, now you're going to have this second, and in the first week, 2 weeks, months, like you just never get that time back. And, you know, you also want to still continue to grow and scale your business. And we have some exciting things that we're doing within that too. So can you talk a little bit about that, of how, like, I don't know, everything that we've done in preparation for this has like been purposeful and intentional, and how content and branding and, you know, kind of being in control has allowed us to do that.
Yeah, I think that this goes back to kind of what I just said about when you have a kid, it rocks your world. And when you're in real estate or in sales, your world is rocked every 6 months. It's all cyclical. Like, some shit happens every 6 months that you have to pivot. And so I think that we've done such a great job with, you know, I think it was you that said 2 weeks ago, like, you just saw what we just accomplished as a team in the last 12 months and all the shit we did in a down market, right? Like, oh my gosh, we went on this trip and we did that and that and that, and we were so back to back. And I think that it's in those moments and in those times that we were like, hey, we're going to meet at this time, and it's going to suck because no one has time right now, but we have to do it, that we've eventually gotten to a point now where now we're structuring, okay, lead flow from social media. We actually need a person for that. Or maybe even a team, like, who knows? I mean, we could probably have a call center by like next month. I really have no idea.
Buckle up, Mel.
Yeah, exactly. But, so I think about all the times that like we've been on the phone, and, you know, you talk about being present with your kids, but then it's like in those times that they are taking naps and they're down and they're asleep or whatever, that we've been planning out this time. It's that, and it's that personal branding that we've built as a team, but as individuals, that has now allowed us to, like, for me to even feel comfortable coming to you to be like, hey, Matt, I think we need to hire someone like just for TikTok, which is like crazy. Because if somebody would have said that to me 5 years ago, or if I would have tried to say that to somebody in the mortgage industry 5 years ago, that I need somebody for TikTok leads, they'd be like, pick up the fucking phone and call realtors. Like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It's totally different. And so I think that's the coolest part about these little blocks that we've put up, is like finally seeing that we've like built the outside of the house, and now we're like doing the inside, right? Which is the most expensive part. So that's fun.
And I love that, because no one will ever see the like 150 calls that you and I have had, the trial and error of lead flow, CRM, content creation. Like, it's been so long, and then building the branch and our referral base at the same time to be able to, in April, as a branch, just hit our best month in 3 years ever as a team. Hired a rock star processor that in the first 30 days, now we hit our best month. And then that has now enabled us to bring on the first member of the TikTok influencer team in Mel that's going to start. And we're going to see that same, like, I know what's going to happen. It's going to be 30 days and it's going to look overnight. Yeah. Right? But
we're going to be overnight wonders.
Yeah, but me and you know that, okay, this has taken a year to that most people won't invest that time. Yeah. Because, or the money or what have you, they just won't invest it because it doesn't happen overnight. Whatever they try, like, we've had 20 fucking iterations of this shit, and we will. And I think what has been like so great about what we've done is I know what we've done is now going to allow us to be able to scale it.
Yeah.
Because we've already like pivoted, made changes, made adjustments, like not been married to this one kind of like way of doing things, of like an ego of like, oh no, we don't need to hire or we don't need to do this. We've just reacted based on how the consumer has wanted to communicate, how the conversion has happened, how your life and business and best use, like we've just done all that, which will allow us to like scale and grow. We're going to be able to sitting on this in the next 90 to 180 days with your newborn in your lap and been like, hey, remember the podcast that we did when we talked about TikTok and personal branding, and we just closed 10 loans straight through TikTok and are hiring our next person. And it's just a testament to your like belief in something of that and everybody would say like, oh, that doesn't work. And you just kept going.
Well, you even said that, remember? When you were like, your conversion's like 2% from online leads.
I love it.
Do you remember that? I will never forget that quote.
And you're like, motherfucker.
Crazy in my head.
And we like, I love that it's like we went back and forth on that because it's what made us better, both on my side and your side of like, okay, making it work / adjusting what we're doing and like doing both, like not having this one, like, okay, you can't do this because the leads are converting at 2%.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Rocket Mortgage's leads convert at 2% and they're the number one lender in the country.
Yeah, they don't care about conversion.
They don't care about conversion rate. So how do you feel that that's like gonna play into having the second baby? It's like scaling and growing personal brand. I know we've done a lot with like, all right, let's go and do more podcasting and speak on stages, and that's been filling your cup as well. What do you see that looking like 6 months down the road?
So as you were talking, I was just thinking of one word, and I think that I was listening to a podcast this morning, and Leah Hermosi said that she loves her leaders to be chameleons, and because they can like adapt to their environment. And I feel I like literally couldn't feel that anymore about myself, and I feel like I have been gifted this like self-awareness. I hope so, at least. And I am so excited to basically like go into this new way of change and have no expectation for myself, like allow myself to change and see how it all plays out. Because kind of going back to the first time I had Costas, and it being robbing me of those like moments, I feel like this time around, I have been so intentional with, I'm going to build something that allows me to kind of pull back, but not in a sense of like, I don't want to do this shit anymore, but in a way that's like, I've just changed and it's okay. Like I'm more of a mom now, but I'm actually better at all the other things that I do. Yeah. So like when I got back into,
it's wild. More of a mom
crazy.
And closing more business,
but doing more.
It's awesome.
But it's back to that like being a chameleon, right? Like you have to adapt, and that's like the personal brand I've built, and it's so like I'm so excited to go through and have a kid and like enjoy those times, knowing that now I have a whole team behind me that I'll be like, guys, I'm in the fucking trenches right now and I haven't slept in 7 days. Like somebody help me. And there'll be like 17 people, ready to go.
Not only having a kid, but having a girl.
Yeah.
Your girl.
Yep.
I think it's just going to be so cool to watch you, because I just see you as such a boy mom because you just have Costas right now.
There's no mental health issues here.
Your Phillips, like badass, like I just think it's going to be great. She's going to be a little spitfire, and I can't wait to watch that because she's just around all these fucking boys. Like literally Leah Hermosi, it's going to be that. Like she's going to be pushing you and being, I don't know, it's just going to be awesome to watch. And I love that it's like I feel like we embrace that like chameleon change, right? Like, and like the fact that our team is just so young and nimble. I think a lot of people like see our numbers, like we're the number 2 branch at the company, and we're 10 to 20 years younger than everyone, all the other,
Cute.
400 LOs and 50 to 60 branches in the company. And people don't realize like how like young we are until they really look behind the curtain. And it's because how we've grown is we've been so nimble and so like chameleon, right? Like we haven't been like, okay, this is how we're going to do things. It's never going to change.
We're kind of like the opposite. We do like the opposite of what everybody is doing.
Yeah. And I feel like that's how all of our agents and like, it's like, that's how all of our referral partners and business partners are as well. Like everyone that we listen to, every podcast, every successful person that I listen to, they're like, people were doing this and I did this. And so I was on a branch manager meeting with the entire company the other day, and I asked a question about hiring strategy. Not because I wanted to hear everybody's hiring strategy, but because I wanted to see who was hiring. And no one said shit. And
that's crazy.
It was very, there were two people that commented about hiring strategies because we're growing, right? Mm-hmm. We just hired processor, we just hired an internal LO, we're recruiting LOs, recruiting support staff in this time where everybody else is kind of like being super conservative and waiting and scared as well. And the two people that commented were regional managers, not branch managers and LOs. And that was like just my little like way of kind of like seeing, okay, I'm going to throw this out there to see who else is doing what we're doing, to see if what we're doing is the right thing we should be doing. And I think that if everybody was like, oh yeah, we're hiring, here's what we're doing, I would feel like,
maybe we shouldn't hire.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Is everybody, they see it, so it might not be something that we should do. But the fact that just nobody saw it told me that what we're doing is right. Mm-hmm. Because that's how we've done everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's how TikTok and everything that you've done, that's how everything that we've done as a branch has been opposite to the daddy's lenders of the world that are like, oh no, I'm not gonna do Zooms, I'm not gonna send videos, I'm not gonna do content, I'm not going to meet my clients where they're at on TikTok or Instagram, and haven't adjusted, or I'm not gonna allow for work from home.
Right.
Like, no, I want everyone in the office. Okay, that makes no fucking sense.
Right.
Like, okay, you have a bunch of moms, like, guess what? Like, good luck. Because if they're not in the office and they're more fulfilled in their being their best selves, guess what's going to happen in their work life? Mm-hmm. They're going to see, like, you're seeing it, I'm seeing it. So I just thought that was so interesting how, like, when everybody's doing one thing, we're doing the other. That means we're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of it's fear-based, right? And I don't know I know that this is a good thing, but we just like run right into fear. Like we run towards it. We're like, this is really scary. Let's do it. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like that's
why we keep having babies. This is really scary.
This is really hard. Let's make it so much harder.
Originating and growing my business is really hard. Let me throw a child.
Let me also build another business, and then like within that business, all while I'm pregnant.
Might as well.
But I feel like that's kind of just our industry in general, right? Like people are scared, and one way has worked for them for so long, so they're like, I'm gonna just stick here instead of maybe I should build a personal brand, maybe I should do this thing, but it's way too scary to think of that change. But just like that quote is, your best self is on the other side of fear, or the best, whatever the quote goes. I'm foreign, so I like don't know quotes, but but it's something like that. And that's what Leah said, this morning. You go towards the podcast I was listening to, you go towards fear and it shrinks. And you're like, oh wait, that wasn't even that bad. I mean, I think about all those times we sat in the conference room and did those calls to real estate agents, and I hated that shit. I fucking hated it, right? Because I was like, this sucks. But now I get to work with, two realtors I still work with from those calls, but they're also into personal branding and like changing. And so I was like, okay, I should probably make more of those calls, right? Because like that led to those two realtors who I still work with today. But it did suck in the moment. And I need to remind myself that like content for me is so much easier, and I have to do those hard things in order to speak to content to those people who think content is hard.
Yeah.
So that's you, and that's how
Yeah.
you personally
Yeah.
do the other shit.
I love that. I love that me and you have that yin and yang for each other. And like, although we're like the same fucking brain, and
Yeah,
like,
it's scary.
it's very scary sometimes how you'll say things to me and you don't know that you're like, what's happening? And you're like saying something. I'm like, does she fucking know what's going on behind the scenes to where she's, you know, giving this motivation, like always sending podcasts, always sending, you know, inspirational things. And I think what I've realized, and you've helped me too, is that it's like that fear is never goes away. Like it's always there, but you just realize that it's like made by you. And it's your body's like mechanism of like protecting yourself,
Yeah.
right? Like, and with like hiring and scaling and, you know, oh my God, I'm so afraid of how my client is going to think about me having a baby screaming in the background. That's my favorite thing about COVID, that when everybody had to work from home and there was screaming kids in the background, it became like normal.
Yeah.
Like, oh wait, people do actually have lives.
Yeah,
and
with
those
children.
matter more than the work.
Yeah.
And so I think it's always going to be a challenge to like, and I love that we like at AndyMac, we're supported in that, but we're also challenged through that, right? Because, and it's great because we're on an island, we do whatever the fuck we want all day, every day. But we also are backed by a huge organization and team and $6 billion company. But they also give feedback, right? And so the fear, they have the fear just as much as we have the fear. And I love that we do things that they're afraid of, which is right.
Yeah.
Right? Like when we hired a processor, everybody was afraid of that hire. 30 days later, boom, we're the number 2 branch in the fucking company and did the most production in 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, well that fear fucking worked.
Meant fucking nothing.
Yeah, it meant nothing, right? Like
Yeah.
it was totally made up. So now what I love about that happening is now, to your point of like it helping others, is it helped them with fear elimination. Where now with this next scale, it's like, oh, well, we were just afraid about the last decision that you made and you helped us eliminate that fear. Green light.
Yeah.
And I think that's like so cool of how I helped them through me going through my own fear. And that's what you're doing, you know, for your agents that are posting content, for all of us and everybody that you're on. I love all the kids that you're speaking to.
Oh my gosh, that's been so fun.
Because I just think there's so much fear in that. And I wish that when I was that age, that I had someone to like, that was up there telling me, hey, your fear isn't real. And I pushed through my fear. And I think like you just don't really know or understand. And you probably never will, about like the true impact.
Yeah.
That those, you know, you're speaking to 30, you know, kids. You'll never know what actually ends up happening from that, but you and I know, like, you changed somebody's life.
Yeah, and you feel
with
it.
that speech.
And that's all that matters. I remember telling Britt the last time we walked out of Washington College, and I was like, it might be only like 10, 20, 30 kids now, but one day it'll be like a stadium full of people. But even then, it's only like 1% of people that walk out of there impacted. Yeah. So if I can only get 10 but impact every single one, like that means more to me than speaking to 1,000 real estate agents that are stuck in their old ways and will never ever produce content, right? So like that fills my cup up so much. I can't wait to do more of that. Yeah.
And then the good thing is when you're speaking in front of all those people in those stages, you'll have your 2 little ones.
Yeah. Right in the back.
Right in the back, tagged along with the nanny, and Philip back there. And I think that will be so cool to like have all the like pictures and videos and content of like the now. Because like you see, you know, Neil, and he only has like 2 or 3 pictures of him like speak in front of 8
without
fucking
a
agents.
hat.
Yeah, without a hat on. He watches shit too. So without a hat on, like, and he's speaking to like 7 or 8 agents. and then he's speaking in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Right. And so I just think it's so cool that we're going to have all that content to then
be able to relay that message.
Relay the message, reuse, and help impact and inspire others. And it's just, I mean, you're doing it at such a small scale every day at the branch and with these people that you're impacting, and I just don't think like how that's gonna like
which I love
ripple out,
because it's like it's I feel like for me it's the concept of like stay broke. You know, that concept of like you get something. I forgot what podcast I was listening to, but Grant Cardone says this, where he's like, as soon as I make like $1 million and I exchange it for an asset, I take that $1 million and I put it into something that I can stay broke with, and like I don't have any money. And for me, I'm like, what can I do that humbles me? Yeah. And that right now, as I'm talking, is Facebook. Facebook humbles the shit out of me. I make like a status and like 3 people and my mom like it, and I'm like, fuck.
Then you get 1.2
I got like 2 million views on TikTok, and I'm like, I could go back to TikTok, but like I love that. Like I kind of love that about me, and I love that I just don't know, because I'm like, okay, I'm always just gonna do something hard, and like my next is YouTube Shorts and YouTube. Like that shit's gonna humble the fuck out of me because I know nothing about it, but I'm excited to do those things because again, like I feel like I can then talk about, I was there once when I could have gone to the comfort of, I'm gonna post a TikTok, I know everything about it, but I didn't. And so I think we all do that. We're like idea broke all the time, right? We have an idea, we build it, and then we're like, okay, on to the next. Yeah. And I think that's how we're able to always keep scaling and keep growing at the rate we have been. I mean, this shit's only 3 years old. Like it's crazy. It's not even as old as your kids. Yeah.
It's wild. It's actually, the other day I was like thinking, holy shit, building the branch, it's the longest company that I've ever been at in my mortgage career. And it literally feels like that. Like it just went by so fast. And I think it took time to like really like make sure we had the right people and the right processes, and we had to like shoot 100 times to figure out, you know, where we were aiming properly, and we had to go through all those steps. Like we could just do the same thing that we've always done, and
we could have grown a lot faster probably if we just like followed the old way of doing it.
Totally. But I think that we're doing it like the right way, right? And it's like that is where, you know, we're young in the business too, so we also like have the time to do that. Like I think I talk to so many people, and I think that's why they're afraid of those investment decisions, because all of the people that I'm talking to are 45, 46, 52, 60, and they're like, man, but this and this, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm 33 years old. Yeah. Only for a couple more days. I'm 34. So like, I'm like, yeah, I'm 33. So I just see it as, you know, and you see that as like, well, I'd rather grow slower, grow the right way, so that I'm talking to you and your kid is 10 and you're still on the hamster wheel. Yeah. But when our kids are 10, we won't be on the hamster wheel. No. We'll be scaling and growing that business, that we're not having to be in it. We're able to be both. Yeah. And I think that's huge. And you've been a big part of that. Obviously, me and you believe in that more than anything. And, you know, the hardest thing about that too is you have to like take a step back to do it. And so that's like the biggest thing that I've gotten for me, pushback, is everybody talks about, oh, like your production went down or whatever, right? And it's like, I love that people say that. Yeah. Because I'm like, if everyone's saying that, that means I see something that they don't, and I'm literally in the right spot.
But why did your production go down?
Because you have to take a step back to build something. Like you have to take the time to build those processes, bring on the right people, scale your business, build a business instead of and do it with others, right? Like instead of being me, do it with others, which is the only way that I could do it, honestly, because it's like you said, it's so fucking hard that you need other people going through it with you, right? You need other people that went through having a baby and having a scaling business. Yeah. Like I've done that. Nate has fucking 4 babies.
Yeah.
So he's done that way more than any of us. So I feel like having others that are in that same boat as you that also support that is huge. So I guess like the last question that I have for you is I want you to think like 6 months from now. So it is November, what's today? May 8th. So it's November 8th, and you had your baby in what, July?
Fuck, I hope not. June.
Hopefully.
Let's
June.
manifest
so
June.
July, August, September, October. So your baby is 4 months old, and your business is the best it's ever been, and you feel the most fulfilled in your family. What is the one thing or 2 things or 3 things that you did that made that happen?
The first thing is I probably reminded myself that my goals don't care how I feel often. Because I know that I don't know what it's going to be like with a toddler and a baby, but I know it's going to be really fucking hard, especially because he still doesn't sleep at night, so I'm not going to sleep. Like, I'm not going to sleep anyways that I'm going to have a newborn, but I'm just literally not going to sleep. So I know there's going to be times more than ever that I'm going to want to quit. And I'm anticipating that. I already feel like that now because I'm just tired and pregnant. If I don't think about quitting like once a week, or if you don't think about quitting once a week and you're not in sales and you're like you're just not good at what the fuck you do. Yeah.
Especially if you're in real estate.
Especially if you're in real estate right now.
Right now.
But so I know that that's going to come. So I think like more than ever, it's going to be my mental toughness. I might have to just like implement a new 75 hard for moms with kids and toddlers that are in sales. Like, honestly, I feel like that's like a newer calling that has come to me where I'm like, wait, I think that moms who have kids that are young, that are also in sales and specifically in real estate, we're all struggling so much that none of us have time to talk to each other. So there's this like huge community
when
out
you
there.
are going to talk to each other, it's like, fuck it, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, like you're just like, I'll call you in like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot talk to you. So I think that that's going to be one thing that I do is like try to find those people honestly through that time and be really, really open about what I'm going through during that. So like,
that's what I was going to say. Are you going to share that?
Yes. Yeah, so for the
social?
first 30 days, it's like Albanian Greek tradition that the baby doesn't get posted at all. So that's what I did with Kostas, and I'm going to do that as well. Yeah. So in the time that I'm not going to share Ariana, I'm going to be sharing myself, obviously. So I'm going to have a lot to fucking talk about. I'll still be doing like breastfeeding.
With those 700 baby pictures compiling up and baby
just
videos.
in my phone.
Shit.
But so I'm really excited to do that. And I think from that, like, I'm excited to become more vulnerable. Like you just mentioned April being our best month, but March I closed nothing, which is crazy. And I have shared that to a couple LOs, especially in the mastermind that we're in. And they're like, what? Like you? And I'm like, the way other people see me is so crazy than the way I see myself, because I'm like, yeah, dude, shit happens sometimes, and like you don't close any fucking deals, you don't make any money, like that's part of what we do. Basically, I guess to wrap up what I was trying to say is finding that community of women is going to take vulnerability. So in March I closed nothing, and then in April we did the best month that we've ever done, including
and
myself.
You had a great month.
Yeah. So like shit like that happens.
And right before that you had like one of your best months.
Right, exactly.
Too. So it's like the fucking.
I literally am riding the wave. So I know for a fact that once I have the craziness of the market, the shit that's coming out with NAR this summer, rates doing whatever the fuck they're gonna do this summer, having a kid, like trying to also do the renovation in my house where we're adding a room for the baby to have one day when she's out of our room.
Fuck it, just do everything.
There's literally right, like I am just on this fucking. So I know that it's not going to be what I do, because I think the last year and a half we've implemented like actual actionable items, the CRM and the phone, like all this stuff. It's going to be my mental toughness, and it's going to be me saying to myself, like, your goals don't care how you feel. You're going to get up next day, even if you don't really sleep, you're just going to get up from bed, and it's going to be a new day. And you're going to just keep going because nobody really gives a fuck. And so I'm in the season of like proving myself into others that you can have it all, and it's going to just be hard, but it'll be worth it.
I love that. And I think that'll literally change people's lives, sharing that. I mean, it'll impact me, honestly, just like watching you go through that. It's just inspiring, and supporting you through whatever day. Like, I know that because I have gone through it 3 times. It's like, today I slept and I'm going to go all in on my fucking business.
Yeah, because you got like 4 hours
I'm
of
good.
sleep
I got a whole 4 hours. Woo! And then the next day you're like, fuck that shit. I didn't sleep at all. I need to take a break. And I feel like we've just fostered that culture that's okay. And guess what? That's actual real shit. That's like real life. And I'm excited for you to share that. I've been personally thinking about, I feel like me and you are literally either like all in or all out. Like, we cannot go middle speed. So we're either like doing 75 hard, or we're like eating tubs of ice cream at 11 p.m. at night.
Setting
like,
for approvals.
Yeah, like while doing that. By the way, I saw like that's from your post
That was
last
literally
night.
last night.
Your doula probably texted you.
She did. She was
yelling
like,
at
hi,
you.
and I was like, I know.
So like, I love that you're doing that, because I think it'll inspire so many people and open up this entire like new community to, that are going to be following you and sharing in along that journey, that maybe do also have that fear of like, I don't want to share that. Because I know a lot of like men do that too. Is like, oh, I don't want to share that shit because I'm a tough guy. I like, whatever, provide for my family. I have to be strong. But like, oh yeah, like this sucks and I'm going through some difficult times. And by the way, you can be vulnerable and it's okay, and you can build your business and do it, through sharing with others, I think helps you too. And I'm really, really excited to watch that. I think it's going to be really cool. I want to do another one 6 months from now.
Yeah.
Because I have like a lot of predictions, and I want to predict them now and see, because they'll be on video recording. So my prediction. So me and Theoni have been, for everybody that listens all the way, we have been setting this shit up for fucking a long fucking time. To have all this shit ready to go by the time she has this baby has been the goal. And so we've done it. A lot of fucking hard work, a lot of phone calls. Like, it's just not been easy, and it's going to take off overnight. And my prediction is that you take an entire week off, like nothing.
That sounds crazy. Like, how do people do that?
Like, that's my prediction.
I'm gonna
is
have to
that
break
we
my
get
phone.
it set up. And by the way, it's only May 8th, so like she could have the baby in 40 something days. So you take an entire week off, because we have all the systems and processes in place, and it's summer, so it's fucking awesome, because you can go and walk the boardwalk, and your business grows and scales. And we're sitting here, and what's 6 months from now? November?
Yeah.
Right?
Thanksgiving time.
So November 8th, we'll be sitting here, and we'll have 2 people. We'll have had Mel. It'll have been successful. We'll have hired a second person, and we'll be closing anywhere from 15 to 20 transactions a month, direct through TikTok. That's my prediction. And everybody thinks that's crazy, but
that's the point.
Until it fucking happens.
That's the point.
And so,
can we get on a PJ at some point in your predictions? Because I feel like we've been also working towards a PJ.
Yeah, we're working towards that as well. So maybe we do the pod from the PJ, when we close 20 deals.
The pod from the PJ.
And that's my prediction, and that's based on like everything that me and you have talked about that we haven't shared with everyone. And I'm excited for that next podcast to be the next stage of that growth, where it's like, okay, now we've actually like scaled it, and we have other people that are doing it too, and that are a part of that business that we've built, direct through social media and driving conversion and building and scaling business. Oh, by the way, also spending more time than you have ever had with your family.
At home and with them. Yeah. I'm excited. And I'm excited that you just said that, because you're a nerds numbers guy. And
numbers? I love it.
You're just a nerds numbers guy.
Nerds.
That's who you are. So I know that like for you to say those things comes from like a brain of data that you look at with our team and like what we do every single day. And I just operate out of straight like fucking, I'm just going. Like I have no clue. Like if I had my best month ever this month, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Had
When
no
you
clue.
did, what was it, February?
I think I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you didn't even know.
I didn't even know.
February, hey, best do you close the best month of your career? You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
So like I'm excited because I feel like I'm glad that I'm here where that's okay, because if I was anywhere else, I feel like I would have had to track that shit in order to be like, am I even getting compensated for the things I'm closing? Like what the fuck's going on? But here I can just like do the things I'm really good at. And I love that so much because that's my highest and best. Like sometimes I'm just like, fuck it, this week I'm just going to be an influencer.
Yep.
And I can do that and still bring in leads somehow, and it feels great, but I have no idea about the numbers. So you saying these predictions gets me really excited because, as you know, like I'm excited to finally reap the benefits of being in this fucking industry for so long. And like I've only really been doing it 100% commission for like 2.5 years, right? So like most people don't close anything. So I'm excited to be there, and then I'm excited to see what that looks like in 6 months after all this shit and all the hard work is a little over, and then we do more hard shit and more hard work.
And then we scale it and grow it and make it more difficult. And
Yeah, more
then maybe
babies.
I'll have a fourth.
Yeah, you'll probably
and,
have a kid.
You know, we'll have another child.
I had a dream that Tina was pregnant the other night. I had a dream that Tina was pregnant, and you guys didn't tell us until she was like 9 months. And
When was it that you had this dream?
2 nights ago.
Bro, that's weird as fuck, because 2 nights ago, Alex Laprousse, who's definitely going to watch this, told Tina that she felt the same. And...
Tina's pregnant!
And I hope not. And it was because, I don't know if this is true, but because Woods was like doing a front roll.
Yes, and he's searching for his other kid, his other sibling.
Is that a thing?
Yes!
Oh, fuck. So he was doing a front roll at lacrosse or something. I forget
is
where
so
the fuck
exciting.
we were. And she was like, you know what that means? That you're going to have another baby because he's looking for his brother. And
Yeah.
he's
Or
like,
sister.
Or sister. That would be the fucking best. If we had a girl, I would have a fourth.
You guys will have.
4
you have
boys,
to
I don't know. That
manifest it.
shit.
You have to manifest it like I did.
Yeah, totally.
You just have to get Hannah up in here. I don't know what
When our
voodoo
business
she
is
did.
doubling and we're having more, problems,
have more
and we're
babies.
just gonna have more babies because that's how it fucking works. Well, awesome. Well, I thank you for joining me today. I'm so proud of you. Excited to meet the new little one, and we'll see that business and family continue to grow. And I'm just excited to be a part of it.
I'm happy to be here. Let's keep rocking and rolling.
Let's go.